Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Crystal Flaffy, and today we're going to be talking about Indra, because Indra is one of my favorite mons, as you would know if you saw my top 10 favorite mons video, which came out a little while ago. It came out New Year's Eve. But yeah, we talked about some Nat 2s recently. We talked about a lot of Nat 2s actually. So I want to just branch out to other star levels for a little bit. We'll talk about Grab Egg soon when she comes, like around the time when her festival starts. We'll talk about her, but until then, there are a couple mons that I just want to talk about. You know, right now we got Indra. Next up will most likely be Medusa, and we'll just play it by ear from there. But yeah, let's just jump right into this one. Starting with fire, of course, as always. And this is one of the probably one of the only times, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but this might be the only time where we're talking about a Nat 5 and I can show off, or showcase my own Evo 3 of these Nat 5s for all fire, water, wood elements. I don't have light or dark Indra. I would love it if I did. That'd be amazing. Dark Indra is one of my most coveted mons, but we'll get into that more in depth when we get over to Dark Indra. So, for now, we got Fire. Here's Evo 1. Here's Evo 2. And here we have Evo 3. I do want to mention real quick, in the last video I did, the sound being, I didn't notice when I was recording, but when I listened to the video after I already uploaded it, you can hear the clicking of my nails on my phone screen as I was scrolling through the guide to try to get to the mons, and I'm so sorry for that. My nails are a lot longer than they normally are, and I kind of like them this way. It just feels better, you know? But yeah. I apologize for that. I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen again. But anyway, so here we have Fire Indra. Here's the variant, which normally I don't like the variants for fire elements because it normally gets like too weird. Like the color schemes are just weird for me. But Indra, his is pretty cool because it's not like just all in your face, you know, it's a bit more subtle. Let's look at the stats at level 60. So Fire Indra, by the way, has one of the highest attack stats in the game. It might be third, I think, because I know Light Draka is higher, and I think Fire's Siegfried as well. That might be it. I don't remember off the top of my head, but he's definitely top 5, might be top 3. So yeah, that's a big thing there. You can see his attack is a whopping 4,004. He has really good HP as well for an attacker. And his defense is pretty good, but you know what? These are Nat 5 stats, so we're expecting a lot here. And he really lives up in terms of his stats. Let's look at his skills, though. So leader skill for Indra is attack up 40 to 45% in clan battles. Normally, a limitation on the area you can use it is pretty bad, but in Indra's case, it is okay, because for all the Indras, they're either going to be okay for CVC or Titans, which in both those places, this leader skill is very good. So any of the Indras being variant is very helpful, especially with Fire, who's going to be really good for CVC. So having his leader skill there is very nice. I do have a variant for my Fire Indra, so I use him there, and it's very helpful. Let's look at the skills, though. For his 3-star, he has Elemental Edge. Skill books give a 30% damage boost, really nice. And then on 5-star, he has Seal, 70% 2 turns. Skill books bring it up to 80% and 3 turns and give a 15% damage boost. I do want to comment, though, on his Seal. It is unfortunate that it is only 70% without books, because we do have other mons that tend to get a little higher. I know Light Sphinx, off the top of my head, has the same skill set as Indra, though his are crit required for Elemental Edge, I believe. But with books for Sphinx, it ends up going to 90%, whereas books for Indra only go up to 80%. To be fair, it is 80% 3 turns, so whereas Sphinx is only 2 turns, but, you know, both are good, both have their benefits, both have their pros and cons, you know, but 80% 3 turns is still really nice, though, of course, Nat 5 books are really hard to come by. So where you can use it actually in so many places. That's the thing I love about Fire Indra, he's very versatile. So first off, the place he shines the most would be PvP. So mostly offense, of course. And when I say PvP, I also include CVC and Champions Arena, which I think that's what it's called. I always forget. So using him on attack in either of those places is really nice. I use my Indra for PvP attack all the time. He is a staple in my team. The only time I switch him out is on like super heavy water teams, and even then, because of his elemental edge, sometimes I don't need to switch him out because he'll still have elemental advantage when attacking. Like, say, when I'm doing PvP, my team is Fire Succubus, Light Succubus, Fire Indra, Water Own Myoji, and I'll use that team against teams that have Water Persephone and Water Shiva and Water Nightmare or whatever, and it'll do fine. Unless, of course, there's like Pugilist and Crit Resistance messing around or fucking around with my mons, you know? So, if that's not the case, then they can do work. If it is the case, then I might have to switch some wood mons in. But either way, it's still very, very effective. You can also use him in Wood Colossus, just as a damage dealer. His 3 stars, the elemental edge isn't going to help, but with his high attack, he's still going to be doing a lot of damage. And when he gets his bar full, you know, the steel is not going to help really, but it is going to do some damage. You're only going to use him there as an attacker. Same thing for Dark and Light Colossus as well, and Fire Colossus, just using him as an attacker. With the elemental edge, he'll have the advantage in those locations, so you'll really want to just hit with that 3-star. His seal won't be very helpful, so you won't want to be using that. You'll just be using his elemental edge. Then in Titans, you can use him just as a fire damage dealer until you get Courageous Strike Mons. So he will do a lot of damage, and his leader skill is amazing for that, but he will fall off in damage compared to CS Mons, of course. You can also use him for some Dragon Floors as well, just for his 3-star though. DB7 is the one with Dark Mons. Yeah, Dark Mons. So you can use him there. You can use him in DB9, the one with Fire Mons. And you can use him in DB8 as well. DB8 is the one with Wood Mons. So you can use him in any of those places, though only really on manual. And DB10 as well, though that might not work too well, just because the DB10 hits really hard. So you're going to want to just nuke with Dark Attackers. But if you build him Super Glass Cannon, his Elemental Edge on his 3-star can do a lot of work. So it's worth experimenting with. I haven't tried it myself, but it's possible. You know, it could work. How I would build it, there are 2 different ways that I would build it. So the way I have mine built on the Bruiser build, so HP, attack, defense, because I do use mine for PvP a lot, so I do need to have him be a little bit more survivable. Though keep in mind, mine does not have leveled up trinkets. If I were to level up the trinkets, then I would probably switch him to a more glass cannon build. So triple attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, crit rate attack, attack. You can put a survivability gem on him if you go with those sets as well. And if you were to, I would use a defense gem over an HP gem just because his HP is a lot higher than his defense. Like, his HP is over 31k, whereas his defense is only 2500, where I see them equal if, say, like if the HP was 30k, I would like the defense to be 3k, you know? That's how I equate them to be like equal, you know? So his defense is a bit lower in ratio there. So he does need more investment for his defense than he would need for his HP. But if you have trinkets on, then either way, a more glass cannon build is something that you can use, and it's probably something that I'm gonna do when I get trinkets leveled up on my fire Indra. But I'll speak more about that when I get to show my Indra. We're going way too low. Just because it'll be easier if I can show as I'm telling, you know. But anyway, here we have water Indra. So there's the regular and the variant. I like the hair for the regular. You know, it's kind of pinkish. It's cool. But I like the clothing for the regular more, because I like that blue. Looking at the stats, it is a balance type. Really good attack and defense. His HP is a little bit lower than I'd like. You know, I'd like if it was about 30k, but it's not too bad. Well, it's not bad at all, but it could be better. Looking at the skills, so we're on 3-star, we have attack down 80% 3 turns, skill books bring it up to 90% and give a 15% damage boost. On 5-star, we have courageous strike, and that gets a 20% damage boost from books. And so, just based on the skills, having a strong debuff and courageous strike, it just screams Titans. And of course, having it variant with that leader skill is amazing for there. It is, off the top of my head, probably the best leader skill you can have on your teams for the Fire Titan. Another decent one would be Balrona, Water Balrona, but her leader skill is a bit weaker, because hers is general content, but I think it's only 35 to 40%, whereas Indra's is 40 to 45%. So it has potential to be a lot better. And then, of course, even without books, 80% chance for its attack down really strong, and it being 3 turns is amazing. It leaves a lot of wiggle room for having bad RNG, which is nice. Because if you do have bad RNG, you know, it'll be there for 3 turns, and you'll eventually have a chance to land it again. But overall, very strong skills. You can also use it for Fire Colossus, though, just as a attacker, you know. Though it's not going to do too much damage with its 3-star. You're going to get more damage with its 5-star, which you're going to have to fill up your SP bar, which might take some time, but either way, still pretty good. And also, you know what, the attack down is pretty nice, because Fire Colossus does have that stalker, so it is going to be doing a lot of damage, and it'll be nice to mitigate that if you don't have as strong nuking water mons to take out the Colossus quickly enough. And also, you can use it in PvP offense. I have seen people do that. I don't think it is the most ideal thing that you can do, but especially for CVC, where its leader skill is very strong, because I do sometimes use my water Indra for that, just because if I'm going up against a team that has a lot of fire mons, I don't really have a lot of good water leaders for PvP, so I do throw my Indra in there, and that attack down can be nice if the opponent doesn't, like if they have a lot of aggressors and they don't have high resist or something like that, you know? It can be helpful there. The courageous strike it's not going to give too much of a damage boost in PvP, so it's nothing really notable there. Just, it's mostly for its leader skill in CVC, but it is okay. It's not the worst. Before we move on to wood, I do want to mention, though, real quick, that Water Indra is one of the best mons for your teams against Fire Titan, just because its skill set is amazing for it. There isn't much better than it, and it is the best attack down mon for Fire Titan. We do have Water Harlequin, that is a newly released Rebirth Festival mon, which is really good. You know, it's on its 5-star though, and it's only 2 turns, but it is still decent. But Indra's attack down is just so much better. Oh, and I forgot to mention how to build it. So there's 2 ways you can go about it. You know, you can build it more dedicated towards its attack down, just making it survivable. And so, like, you can build a tanky, like, HP defense or something like that if you want. Personally, though, I would build it more offensively. So crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, triple attack, something like that. Or, you know, crit rate attack HP or crit rate attack defense. When I show off mine, you'll see that I have 1 on crit rate attack defense and 1 on crit rate attack HP. They both do pretty well, you know. So, he's pretty versatile with how you can gem him. But anyway, on to wood. And as you can see, this one I also have Evo 3. I've summoned so many Indras. It's insane. I Well, yeah, I was just talking about both my water Indras. I have 2 Evo 3 water Indras. I have 2, and then an Evo 3 fire and an Evo 3 wood. So 4 Evo 3 Indras altogether, and I do have 5 more Indras in storage. Or 4 or 5 more. I think it's 5 more Indras in storage. Both my waters are variant. My fire is a variant, and then I have a variant fire in storage as well, just waiting for the day I summon light or dark. So, fingers crossed. But anyway, let's talk about wood while we got him on the screen here. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. Dog would not stop barking. I guess somebody walked by the house, and my dog is pretty aggressive, even if there's nobody around. But anyway, wood Indra. So, here's the regular, and here's the variant. I like the variant. Yeah, I like the variant. I like the regular's hair more, because you know how I like the more unnatural hair colors, but the costume for the variant is a lot better, in my opinion. Looking at the stats, he is also a balanced type, though he has a lot more HP than water, though slightly lower attack and defense. And his recovery is so much lower. Water Indra had like 2800 recovery, whereas wood only has 1900, which doesn't really matter, you know, because they're not healers, so the recovery is unimportant, but just an interesting thing to notice there. Anyway, looking at his skills, 3-star, he has stun, 100% 1 turn, skill books bring it up to 2 turns and give a 15% damage boost. On 5-star, he has thirst, 80% 2 turns, and it lowers skill gauge by 30%. Skill books bring that up to 3 turns and give a 20% damage boost. Where you want to use it, PvP. PvP is really the only place where you'd like to use it, though you can use it in TOC as well. Yeah, I don't know why I only wrote PvP in my notes, but it is really good as a 100% stunner for TOC, floors 80 and 100. It also helpful for, I think, 95 is the one I think that has the light Arthur. Pretty good there too, if you need it. I'm at the point where I just full auto the whole thing, so not very helpful for me, but can be very helpful for other people. And then of course for the wood Colossus as well, just stun locking the healer. Though keep in mind the healer does have some resist, so it might resist and get off its heal. It'd be much better to use a SP Siphon, though a 100% stun is decent until you get an SP Siphon mon that can do that. Yeah, how I would build it, I would build it bruiser build as well. Same for fire as I would build for wood, so bruiser build, or you can build it tanky. You can build it tanky, put it on your defense team, and just let it sit there and just annoy your opponent with that stun. Though you can build it bruiser build so it has a little bit more punch to it, you know? Mine is built on the bruiser build, and I can use it for PvP, offense, or defense, which is good. If you build it tanky, you can't really use it on offense. Though if you build it offensively, which can work, its skills don't give it any boosted damage, but the CC is nice. So you can build it offensively as well and just use it on attack. I decided to build it on bruiser build so I can use it on both, you know? But there isn't much to say about wood. It is one of the not worst, but least viable 100% stunners in the game, just because it is wood element, you know, and Fire Draka is a thing. So there's that. Oh, I forgot to collect this. Sorry about that. Small flex that I did manage to get that light Mona. Let's see. Man, that distracted me. That made me lose my train of thought. God damn it. Well, yeah, we have other 100% stunners like Fire Arthur and Water Odin, you know, things like that, which only do better than Indra just because they're element, you know. The metagame isn't very good for wood mons on defense right now. So, there's that. Anyway, light. Time for light Indra. So here's the regular, nice and golden. And here's the variant, which, yo, this looks so cool. I actually really like this one. It reminds me of... Have any of you guys seen, like, the Power Rangers in space? Like, I might be dating myself a little bit here. I'm like 2 weeks away from 25. So, yeah. When I was a kid, I owned the Power Rangers in Space movie or something like that had like the Psycho Rangers. This guy looks like Psycho Silver. That's what he makes me think of right now. But anyway, that aside, looking at the stats, he is an attacker. His attack stat is actually really high. It's not Fire Indra levels of high, but, you know, it's not far off. It's only like, what, 28 points? No, like 23. I don't know. Quick math, man. Like 27 points difference or something like that. Anyway, its defense is decent. You know, it's a little bit on the low end, and its HP is actually pretty low as well. But that's alright, because you don't really want it to be survivable. Fire Indra can be, you know, a bit more balanced, but Light Indra is all about just nuking. We look at its skills, so on 3-star it has Elemental Edge, same thing as Fire Indra. And it gets a 30% damage boost there as well. But on 5-star it has Hunter for 50% and gets a 30% damage boost from skill books. So, just overall, this thing is meant to do so much damage. You can use it in a lot of places. You know, the Elemental Edge does make it very versatile on offensive content. So, PvP offense, Dark Colossus, well, the Elemental Edge doesn't help with Dark Colossus. Just it being a light attacker helps with Dark Colossus. But also Light Colossus, Fire Colossus as well, Wood Colossus too. Any of those places. You can use it in Titans as well. You know, the Elemental Edge will help if you're attacking Light, Fire, Water, Wood. And then the Hunter will help if you're attacking Dark. So, there's that. Though, of course, it will fall off compared to CS Mons. And then you can use it for the Dragons, floors 7 through 8. 7 through 10, sorry. The Elemental Edge, though, you're going to have to play on manual for 8, 9, and 10. Since the Hunter isn't going to help too much there, you really just want it for the Elemental Edge. But on DB7, you can just use it on auto, because that Hunter is really going to help you there. And then farming, in general, you know, farming story content, Starstones, things like that. He's just going to do a lot of work. If you have him on a Siphon set, you know, getting that Hunter off as often as possible is really nice. But if not, you know, you can just use him PvP. If I had him, that's probably what I would do, just because I love that Elemental Edge on 3-star. And how I would build it, you got to build it with crit rate. Otherwise, that Hunter is pretty useless. So, crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage. You can go crit rate attack HP or crit rate attack defense. Either or is fine if you need that extra survivability. Though, I would recommend just get survivability from trinkets and build it full glass. That'd probably be the most effective. But yeah. There isn't really... While he is versatile for a lot of different contents, he's not very versatile in how you build him. He's kind of like a one-trick pony, you know, a crit-based attacker. And that's about it. That's all he does. But it's... Like, he only does, like, one thing, and that's be a crit-based attacker, but he does it very well. So he's... Overall, he's very good. Anyway, finally, we have Dark Indra, my most coveted mon in the game. Probably tied with Light Onmyoji, though actually I think Indra just pulls it out a little bit higher. Here's the regular, very cool. And here's the variant, also very cool. This is a tough one. I like the hair for the regular, but I like the clothes for the variant. Yeah. Looking at the stats, though, he's an attacker. He has a decent HP and decent defense stats. His attack is okay compared to the other two attacker Indras that we have. His is the lowest, but that's fine, you know. They really did need to put his attack a bit lower, because if it was at the same level as the other two attacker Indras, he'd be, like, he's already close to broken for Titans. And if his attack was much higher, he would just be too good. They had to lower his attack just to balance him a bit. And to showcase that, look at his skills. He's a double Courageous Strike. He gets 20% damage boost on both skills from books. So he's just an amazing attacker for Titans. He's going to do so much damage. There have been people that showed screens. You can see it on like Reddit and whatnot. There are people showing screenshots of their Dark Indras doing damage, doing like 20 mil damage each. Like just the Indra doing 20 mil damage. I don't remember who it was, but somebody posted an image that they used like in the front line. They just put a bunch of like level 1s, and then in their back line they put their setup with like defense down, exposed weakness, and their dark Indra, and they were able to take out like 20 mil on a Titan with just getting their damage from Indra. So he is very strong with what he does. He too, like Light, is kind of a one-trick pony, but he is amazing at what he does. He's the best Dark Courageous Strike Mon. He's the only double Courageous Strike Dark Mon. He is really good. But besides Titans, you can also use him for Light Colossus as a damage dealer. The Colossus do have a decent amount of HP, so they will get a decent amount of damage there. But I think Hunter and Predator and stuff like that might be better for that, but his Courageous Strike is still very good for it. It's better than not having a damage boosting skill, of course. And just being a dark attacker, base 100 crit damage, decent attack stat, he's going to do very well there. Same for DB10 and PvP offense as well, just against like heavy heavy light teams. Yeah, and you can use him in Dark Colossus too. I know people have done that, just using him as a dark attacker. He doesn't have elemental advantage there, but he also doesn't take elemental advantage back, so he can do decent damage for that as well. And how I would build him, since he's not crit required, you can build him just like triple attack or something like that. But being a Darkmon with that base 100 crit damage, building him with crit rate is more ideal. So like crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, something like that. I would definitely recommend building him fully offensively. Not worrying about his survivability, though you can throw a survivability gem on there. HP or defense doesn't matter. They're both relative to each other, so they'll both be pretty good. Though, as I said, it'd be more ideal to build on fully glass with just getting survivability from trinkets. But anyway, that is it for these Indras, and I'll just show off mine now. Oh, I should mention, because he does have costumes, and I completely forgot about that. Here we go. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the design for them. The only reason I got it was because it does give a slight stat boost. I think it's like 150 HP and then 75 attack, defense, and recovery, which isn't much, but I did it anyway just because like every little bit counts, But he does have costumes, which some people might find appealing. I personally don't, but they're there if you need them or if you want them. So yeah, there's that. All mine do have the costumes on, again, just for that slight stat boost. But anyway, so here's my Fire Indra. He's a variant, Evo 3. And here's his gems. I was unlucky, I didn't get a square, but even so, I got him and I put most of these gems on him when I didn't really know much about the game. He wasn't like Evo 3'd by then, no. I started using him before I got him to Evo 3, of course. But anyway, it was defense, attack, HP, so bruiser build, and in case you didn't notice, all those gems were 5 stars. And his stats are still amazing. I just use these gems because his substats on them are amazing. We see a lot of crit rate. This one here, we see a lot of crit rate, a decent amount, and a good amount of attack and resist, and then a little bit of HP, Here we have his attack gem, a lot of crit rate again, some resist and some defense. The flat HP isn't that great, but the rest of the gem more than makes up for it. And then here's HP gem, got a lot of crit rate again, some attack, and some crit damage as well. So very good offensive subs on all 3 of these gems. I do have these trinkets here. Oh, this one is upgraded. Did I upgrade all of his trinkets? I did. Oh yeah, I did that like last week or something. Shit. I completely forgot about that. I don't have books for him, of course, but I did get one. So, someday, maybe in 17 years, I'll have him fully booked. Here's his final stats, though, with those gems. And as you can see, with only 1 attack gem, and then the Valor set and substats, gets him to 8.6k. Very, very high, considering he only has 1 attack gem. So that's very nice. And then his HP and defense are both really nice as well. So I'm actually very happy with how my Fire Indra is built. The only thing that I can do to make him, or that I would do to make him better, is like upgrade these trinkets from 4 stars to 6 stars. I'm pretty sure they're only 4 stars. Yeah. And then, of course, the gems to 6 stars as well. Though, the only time I would replace these gems is if I get ones with similar substats. Because even without a crit rate gem, I do have his crit rate at 65. So, that's really good, considering no crit rate gem. So, it'll be a while before I change it. Anyway, here are my water Indras, which I didn't notice that I do need to upgrade this gem. So I'll probably do that after this video, if I remember. This one is crit rate HP, was it? Yeah, HP attack. And this one has a lot of resist. So this is the one that I use in the front line for my Titan team, just to keep it from getting all those saps. And his crit rate is very high as well, 91. Very nice. He does have a crit rate gem. So, yeah. Here's his final stats. Pretty good attack, good HP, good defense. And his trinkets are leveled up as well. And they're all 4 stars. Oh no, this one's a 5 star. Okay. And he does not have books, but someday. I am prioritizing fire for my books right now. Here's my second water Indra. And he is crit rate, attack, defense. Now this one has higher crit rate and lower resist, so I use this one in the back line where you don't have to worry about the sap. And this one does have a 5-star trinket there, so that's nice. And the other 2 are only 4 stars, I believe. Yep. So yeah, there's that. And all 3 of those were variants, as you can see. I was lucky. I've summoned 3 variant Indras so far. One of the 3 of these Evo 3s, I had a variant Gleam. My 3rd variant Indra is in my storage still. I'm saving it for Dark. And here's my Wood Indra. This one I also have on the Bruiser build. So we got HP, we see a lot of resist, some attack there as well, some crit damage, very nice. Defense, so we got some good resist, some crit rate, some crit damage, some attack, and then attack. And again, we have resist, crit rate, defense there. The only thing there is the flat recovery sucks. That's the only thing about his gems that I don't like. His trinkets are not upgraded though, so I should get on that, definitely. But if you can see, or if you look, you see he has pretty good crit rate, considering no crit rate gem. It's not as high as my Fire Indras, of course, but still pretty nice. An extra 35, so 45 crit rate total. And resist is pretty nice as well, being, what, 69? 69? Yeah, and here's his final stats. So overall, very good for a Bruiser build. And yeah, that is it for my Indras, just to show that I'm very much ready for Dark Indra. Here's another variant one. I can just throw this, like, I might just give in and throw that onto my Wood Indra, just because I do have the variant Gleam right there, variant Holy Gleam for my Dark Indra, if I ever get one. So, I don't know, who knows, you know, I'm trying not to cave, but I might cave, you know, so, anyway, to prioritize the Indras, if you're lucky and you get Dark, I would prioritize that first, just because it is so amazing. Then next I would put Water, because it is a very, very good Titan mon early to late game. Then next I would put Fire and Light. I'd make them pretty much equal at the 4th spot, or at the 3rd spot, just because both of them have that strong elemental edge on their 3-star. It makes them both really good. And their 5 stars are both very good, just for different things. So neither of them are bad. Though you can argue Fire Indra being slightly better, because he does have a higher attack and higher survivability, you know, higher natural HP and defense. So there's that, but personally I put them at about equal. And then Wood is last, just because it's just not as good as the rest of them. You know, Thirst is not an ideal skill, but it is still usable, so still pretty good, just not ideal. But yeah, that's going to be it for all the Indras. Before I end it off though, I do want to make a quick note. So, 1, I do plan to be changing my channel name well, I'm going to look into changing it. I'm not sure how that works or whatever, but I'm going to try to do it. I just want to have all of my stuff in line, you know. If you see in the link, in the descriptions of all the videos that I upload, I do have my links to other things. I have my Twitter and Instagram, I think, is there as well, DeviantArt, because I do upload art and stuff, you know, and I just want to have my name the same across all the platforms. So I'm going to be changing it to Barry Lancaster. That's my online name, I guess, the name that I choose to go by, which will one day be my legal name, but not currently. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. So if you see uploads by that name in your subscription feed or whatever, just know that it is still me. You know, it is still me. And also, I will make I'll probably make a formal video about it, just like stating that I'm changing my name. I just want to mention this real quick. And also, as well, I do have a Patreon. It is completely unrelated to MSL stuff. It's art-based. You can find more details about it on the link that is in the description of the video. Also my Twitter, you know, I'm working on setting things up so I can do commissions and stuff. So, yeah, those are things that are happening. But again, I will try to make a formal video announcing all these things in the near future. I do have a video that's going up on the 18th that, before I recorded it before I decided these things. It is a bit of a special video. So I won't be mentioning anything in there, you know, but I just wanted to say these things in advance just so you guys get a little bit of a heads up, you know. But anyway, this video has gone on long enough. I'm going to wrap it up here. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that, hit the bell, and have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.